Number 5 play for Half Moon Bay. Crests a deep ball, crests a fly ball into center field, making it first and second for the Cougars. Runners at the corner. Aragon tries to pick off at first and throws it out of play and run scores. And Oregon out with the strikeout for the inning. Keneally on first base. Farina pinch hitting in the bottom of the 7th, 1-0. And a fly ball to right field. And Keneally coming around third. And he's going home. And he's safe at home. It is a tie ball game in the bottom of the 7th with 2 outs. Top of the 8th. Pass ball with the runner on third. And the run comes in to score. It is 2-1 Half Moon Bay. And the Dons cannot catch up in the 8th inning.
Welcome to Sports Center Not Top 10. I'm Peter Snevis, and kicking it off at number 10, the White Sox Tigers, Jameer Candelario fields a ground ball. He thinks it's foul. It's actually a fair ball going down. That's an easy base hit for the White Sox, but it never should have been. There's a lot of dead time here. Jeez.
At number 9, Berman drops chicken. We have a play-by-play counselor. He decided to grab one of the biggest sandwiches. And he drops it.
Dude, that's tragic. The fries are everywhere. Are you kidding me? The chicken's everywhere.
He's still eating.
Rumor has
Nothing
it.
will stop him.
Rumor has it he was in the hospital all night.
So,
You just hate to see that.
Yikes.
Definitely a highlight of SBC 2019 across the country.
That's foul.
Nice.
Coming in at number 8, Jose Abreu hits a home run into left center field. But guess what? His head base runner doesn't know it's a home run, and he almost passes him.
Going to number 7, Kristen Ramirez. He has a beautiful pass to the center and goes over the post. How could you miss that? I know it's the MLS, but seriously, guys, come on. This is getting ridiculous.
It's almost as if he thought he was the ball and not the ball itself.
Exactly. Well, he ended up in the goal.
At number 6, we're coming down with the pass. He passes. Malik Beasley. He falls on his tush. The pass goes right into the crowd. That is super sad.
Coming in at number 5, Ramon Laureano. It's a fly ball down the left field line, and it hits a policeman who's standing up and acting as the ball dude.
Did he catch that?
No, he didn't.
I thought he
almost
did.
though.
He caught that with one hand.
Jeez.
And there's another cop coming down to check in on it.
And now number 4, I believe we're going, yes, here we go, to Baltimore White Sox. This just really sums up the Orioles season here. 1 error, 2 errors, 3 errors, and that is just the situation in Baltimore this year.
Sums up their franchise, too.
Really
At
does.
number 3, the Spurs don't foul to lose the game. As you can see, Greg Popovich is very upset, and he's trying to get a foul.
That was Game 7 of that was a Game 7 of that series.
I think he knows what he's talking about.
Coming in at number 2, Essa Lindell dives on 3 straight pushes from Alexander Stein in the St. Louis Blues Dallas Stars game. There's number 2.
That's
Dude,
flop. That's a flop.
Bro, he should have played soccer. Coming in at number 1, Ryan Braun looking to field a deep fly ball, going back to the track, jumps, and he does play for the Brew Crew. Very fitting. Just a terrible circumstances. You can see it hits off his cap.
Didn't that happen before?
This has happened before, and we're seeing it now. Here we go, fly ball to left field. I believe this is Al Smith. This is 1959 World Series. Just dumped straight on his face, and he takes it a little more gracefully than Ryan Braun will ever
That's a
do.
lot of beer that time.
That's a lot of beer. For Sports Center Not Top 10, I'm Peter Snevis along with McGuire Sherman and Anthony Remedios. Good.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Sports Roundtable with AR on KNBR 680. I am here with Peter Snevis and McGuire Sherman. And today we will be talking about the future of the NBA, the discussions of extending the MLB stadium nets, and Tom Brady. So, first up, the future of the NBA. We had a lot of moves this offseason. We had Kevin Durant going to the Nets. We had D'Angelo Russell getting traded to the Golden State Warriors. Kevin Looney leaving the Warriors. DeMarcus Cousins Kawhi Leonard. There's just so much to talk about. So, McGuire, what are your thoughts on the future of the NBA?
It's definitely going to be an interesting year. So I definitely think the power of the NBA has shifted. Definitely Golden State obviously has had the upper hand the last couple of years, and I think it's really shifted. You lose Kevin Durant, which was such a key player on the Warriors. He's now on the Nets. We don't know if he's going to come back this season. Most likely not. But now we see the Lakers, the Clippers, people who the team who was competitive last year, they just didn't necessarily have that edge. But I really see it being a fun year to watch. Definitely, there's not a lot of power just towards one team. It's all spread out.
I mean, obviously, I think it's more spread out than last year, but I think it's hard to step away and say the Golden State Warriors still aren't front runners in the West. There's a lot of people who are saying they're not even a top 3 team. That is ridiculous. Yes, both LA teams are good. The Lakers and Clippers are amazing teams. I have them in the top 2, but the Rockets at 3, I don't see James Harden working out. I don't see Russell Westbrook working out together. That's a terrible combination, in my opinion. And then I think the most exciting team to watch for next year is the New Orleans Pelicans. Zion Williamson's coming there, obviously the number one draft pick. Lonzo Ball, Brandon Ingram, Josh Hart. That's going to be such a fun team to watch in the future. And in 3 years, they're NBA champions.
That was a great point to bring up about the Pelicans. Speaking of the Pelicans, they also traded away Anthony Davis for some of those players. Right. McGuire, what are your thoughts on that?
I mean, Anthony Davis and LeBron, I think they're going to work really well. LeBron he needs the ball in his hands. We know that from watching him. Anthony Davis, I feel like he's going to be that big guy down low that he's never really had. LeBron James has really he's been doing that work for himself. And that's really what hasn't been working.
Now, don't be surprised if the Lakers don't get it together in the first couple months, because you saw when LeBron James went back to Cleveland in, I believe it was 2014, 2015, that team really struggled for the first 2 months there. I could see the same thing happening with AD and LeBron, because they're just two guys that have never played together. Same thing happened with Kyrie and LeBron. I don't see it working out immediately. I think they're going to be fine in the playoffs, but don't be surprised if they fall in the standings.
Fair enough. All right, let's move on and we'll shift to baseball a little bit. Something that has been coming up a lot in the last really 2, 3, 4 years has been young kids getting hit by foul balls in Major League Baseball stadiums. And now there is discussion among certain teams and the league as a whole as to whether or not to extend that netting. Currently it's from dugout to dugout and behind home plate. But there's now discussions of making it all the way around from foul pole to foul pole. Peter, go ahead, give us your take on that.
I think that the MLB needs to do that. And I hear the argument of people saying, like, oh, it's taking away the fan experience. First of all, the nets are very thin, and people who sit behind home plate never have that problem, ever. They've never complained about the nets. And if young kids keep on getting hit by these foul balls and sending them to the hospital, first of all, it makes the players feel terrible. Second of all, it takes I believe it takes adults and parents, and they look at it and they say, look, I don't want my kid being here. That's just not a safe environment for him or her or whoever it is. So I think it's the right way to go for the MLB, foul pole to foul pole.
McGuire? I'm going to have to disagree with you on that one, Peter. I really think it takes away the experience for the fan. I mean, nobody really likes sitting in front of the net. I feel like they just deal with it.
But do you want your kid to be hit by a foul ball? That ball's going 100 miles an hour straight at someone's face. And here's the thing. It's not like people who aren't paying attention, like, sure, that pay attention in the game. You go there for the game. That's why you're paying money. But these are young kids. What can you do about young kids? They're probably paying attention but don't even realize what's happening because they're so involved just looking around at them. They're at an MLB stadium, for God's sake. They love it, and there's so much to pay attention for. And then a ball strikes them in the face. Like, what other way is there to stop that?
I mean, pay attention. I mean, it's as simple as that. You gotta pay attention. You bring a child to the game as a parent. You have to know. You have to keep your eyes open and peeled the whole entire time.
Yes, but at the same time, when a ball's going 100 miles an hour, how many people are going to be able to stop that? Like 3% of people. It's ridiculous. We hear these stories like once a week, once every 2 weeks or something, where a kid's being taken to the hospital because of a ball hitting them in the face or in the chest or something like that. You got to protect the future of the game.
I agree with you. It's not good that these kids are getting hit, and I don't mean to be it's okay for them to get hit. That's not at all. That's terrible. But you just got to pay attention, and it takes a millisecond to move out of the way.
All right.
Well, unfortunately, we are out of time for today. We will not be able to discuss Tom Brady. But thank you for tuning in to Sports Roundtable with AR on KNBR 680. I am your host, Anthony Remedios, with Peter Snevice and McGuire Sherman. Have a great day.
Welcome back to 97.1 The Ticket. I'm Peter here with McGuire and Anthony, and today we'll be talking about the biggest risers and fallers. This offseason wasn't too exciting, but the big two trades in the offseason was Antonio Brown going to the Raiders and Odell Beckham Jr. going to Cleveland. What are your thoughts on this, and who's going up the ladder and who's going down the ladder in the NFL?
So I definitely think the Raiders made a good decision by signing Antonio Brown, but you got to keep him out of trouble. He's always trouble on the sideline. He wants the attention, and I think he could work with the Raiders. Derek Carr, he's the kind of QB who can be elite without all the attention. I think it might work. The fall, Jacksonville Jaguars, they've been on the fall for a little while now. They're kind of just slowly getting worse. They had a couple good years. 2016, they were considered a really good defense. Not exactly sure what's going on. Pretty sure just stuff inside the organization, but that's my prediction.
It seems very typical with Jacksonville. They never really seem to put their head on right, essentially, in my opinion. But for you, what are your biggest risers and fallers here?
I like the signing of the Raiders with Antonio Brown. I think if he can stay healthy and if Derek Carr can go back to his 2016 season and kind of relive that statistically, it could work very well. Obviously, they did trade Khalil Mack last year, so that definitely sent them down a little bit. In terms of a faller, I'm going to agree with you about Jacksonville also.
All right, now moving on, we're going to talk about fantasy football here. So I'm going to throw out a theoretical. If you have the number one pick in the draft for your fantasy league, who are you picking and why?
I might have to go with Todd Gurley on this one. I haven't done a lot of fantasy prep yet for the season. I'm still in baseball mode and slowly transitioning over to fantasy football. But I think I'm going to go with Todd Gurley. He pretty much led the league in running backs last year. I had him on my team in both the leagues that I was in, and he scored very well for me, points-wise. So Todd Gurley's a safe pick. There's obviously other very safe picks out there. You have Patrick Mahomes, Tom Brady, Drew Brees, Tyreek Hill, Adam Thielen. There's five right there that are also going to go very high in the draft, first, if not second round.
All right, what about you?
I'm going to have to go with a running back of some sort, probably the Saints running back Alvin Kamara or Todd Gurley, just people who put up points, run the ball a lot. That's where the points are in that league, and quarterback maybe depends on what it's looking like on draft day, what my competition is. Might try to stir the pot a little bit.
All right, interesting. Now, going back to running backs, they seem to be popular going in the first and second round. And there's a big running back right now who's holding out with his contract. Ezekiel Elliott is holding out with the Cowboys. Does this affect the way you look at him? And if he's still on the board, do you take that risk or no?
At the end of the day, I think Cowboys will get it done. I'll definitely take Zeke first round. Probably not first pick, but I'll take him first round.
All right, what about you? Do you think that's the right decision there?
I think I'm going to have to go with taking somebody else. Ezekiel Elliott, very reliable, but I think I'd rather go with somebody more reliable, just who can get the job done like some of those other guys that I had mentioned last year. And some of those other players, Thielen and Hill especially. Kareem Hunt now not as much, but last year, those three guys tore it up and really had some breakout seasons there.
Now remember, just for our viewers back at home, Ezekiel Elliott said that he's willing to hold out all season if Jerry Jones and the Cowboys don't give him a bigger contract, which is very risky. He's going down the path that Le'Veon Bell went on, and Le'Veon Bell has his support. So very interesting story to watch out for. But to kind of close our segment off, obviously we have to do Super Bowl predictions here. That's how all of these shows work, it seems like. So, McGuire, who do you have in this Super Bowl? Super Bowl 44 in Miami. Who are the two teams who's the one team in the AFC, one team in the NFC, and who do you have winning it?
So I got to stay true to the home team. We're going to go Seahawks in the Super Bowl against the Chiefs. We're going to have Seahawks taking it 25-21.
All right, what about you?
You said Seahawks Chiefs, right? I don't think the Seahawks quite have what it takes for the Super Bowl. This is actually a Super Bowl I wanted to see last year, and that is probably what was one of the greatest football games of the decade. Well, actually, one of the greatest Super Bowl, one of the greatest games of the century. Rams Chiefs, and I'm gonna have the Rams winning that one. If the Patriots slide in, it's not going to surprise me. They make it in it. They almost always try to find a way to make it in. In the last 5 years, we've had one, maybe two Super Bowls that he hasn't been in it. That Tom Brady and his Patriots have not been in it. So it would not surprise me at all. The Saints also could make another run again. So it'll be very interesting to see, especially in those late rounds of the playoffs.
What I would personally love to see, and which I think will happen, will be Saints and Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs going at it. I think that just the two high-powered quarterbacks will be really fun and interesting to look at in the Super Bowl. You know, Patrick Mahomes is the young stud looking for his first ring, and Drew Brees is looking pretty much to go out on top. He's in, 39-40 now? That would be a great storyline to have. But we have to go to break now for McGuire, Anthony. I'm Peter Snevice. Good night.
Good afternoon, I'm Anthony Remedios alongside Hannah Garnett and Juliet Winslow, and we're live outside the championship game between New Orleans Saints and Los Angeles Rams. Both teams have a 13-3 record this season, and the winner of this game will be going to the Super Bowl next week. Hannah, what do you think the key to this game is going to be?
I think the key is their offense, definitely. The Saints have an exceptional offense. Drew Brees is an amazing quarterback, so I'm excited to see this matchup.
Great. Juliet, what do you think?
I think the Rams' defense is the key strictly because of Aaron Donald.
Okay. We have Skylar to talk down on the field with Rams head coach Sean McVay. Skylar, take it away.
Thank you so much, Anthony. I'm here with Sean McVay. Now, Mr. McVay, what are your objectives for this game?
Well, my objectives is that, since it's a 13-13 records for both teams, it's really a 50-50 chance. Offense, defense, it just depends on your players, how they play in the game, and just staying on their toes and feet during the whole entire game. Really.
And Jared Goff, what do you expect from him? What do you have planned for him this game? It's such a high stage and really monumental for him. What do you expect from him?
Well, he's been a great player so far this season, and so I really think that he's going to show that he will be one of the best players out there, really, and just play his game.
Thank you so much. Anthony, back to you.
Thank you, Skylar. All right, one last final thing. Who do you two think is going to win the Super Bowl? I have the Rams win this game, and go to the Super Bowl. I have the Rams. Who do you have, Juliet?
I also have the Rams in this game.
Okay, and Hannah?
I have the Saints. Go Drew Brees, one of the best quarterbacks of all time. So.
Great. That will wrap it up for today, folks. Enjoy the game.
Welcome to What's on Tap MOB. My name is James Adams. This is Caleb Ellison, Jared Alley, and Anthony Remedios. And today we're talking about tomorrow night's matchup. This St. Louis Cardinals versus the LA Dodgers. The LA Dodgers won the first game 8-0, a very convincing win for that squad. So what do you think about tomorrow night's matchup?
Should be a good game. Hopefully the Cardinals will be able to even it up. It's coming from a Giants fan, but so maybe a little biased, but should be a good series. I'm looking forward to it.
The Cardinals are definitely going to need more wins during the series and just the rest of the season. As the NL Central race becomes a takeaway for the Cubs and Brewers, the Cardinals really need to start picking it up.
Yeah, the Dodgers, this is tonight's game. This is the middle game, so if they win this game, they have a chance for a series sweep tomorrow. Kershaw's on the mound, so looking good for the Dodgers tonight, and you have Dustin May, the rookie, tomorrow.
Okay, we have breaking news. Dodgers RF Cody Bellinger tears ACL, slipping on grease at a Las Feliz in and out. He will miss the remainder of the season. Very, very, very crazy news for today. So what do you think about that, Anthony?
Ooh, this is a good one here. Definitely not good for the Dodgers. Could potentially hurt their playoff chances, but they still have a lot of players who can pick it up with the bats. You got Max Muncy. You got Will Smith, who's been doing great this year as a rookie catcher. You have Jock Peterson, and just the list keeps going on and on. What really makes this interesting is the MVP race. It's really been a toss-up between Christian Yelich of the Brewers and Cody Bellinger for all this year. and this pretty much seals it up for Yelich. So good thing for him.
It's really unfortunate for Bellinger. I would have thought he had better taste in knowing that 5 guys is superior to in and out. But other than that, it's just very bad for the Dodgers organization. They obviously have a very in-depth farm system, and they have a lot of guys they can go to on the bench. That's going to be a lot of responsibility for those guys who now have to take out that hole in right field where Cody Bellinger originally was.
This is terrible. If you're a Dodger fan, this makes you sick to your stomach. You just want to throw up. The season's over. For the Dodgers, it's over. You're losing your MVP. I mean, is a team better or without your best player? For example, like would the Astros would be better with Altuve or not? So it's over for the Dodgers. They're not winning the World Series. They're going to make the playoffs. They have an 18-game lead in the West, but it's not looking good for the Dodgers. Maybe they'll win a series, but the Astros are better. I'll take the Red Sox even over them, but Red Sox are obviously not in a playoff spot. Yankees, but Dodgers not looking good.
Okay, now that does it for our show, What's on Tap. I'm James Adams.
Caleb Ellison?
Jared Alley.
And Anthony Remedios.
Thank you for watching. Signing off.
Hi everyone, and welcome to Sports Broadcasting Center. I'm Brooke Charlton along with Anthony Remedios.
When you think of comeback stories, you think of the Red Sox battling back from a 3-0 deficit to their dreaded rival, the Yankees. The Red Sox went on to win the World Series that year for the first time since 1918. Or maybe you think about the 1993 Buffalo Bills, who trailed 35-3 in an AFC playoff game, only to win 41-38.
Now, comeback means one word, Tiger. Yes, Tiger Woods is back and perhaps has cemented his place as the greatest golfer who has ever lived. He won the Masters for his first major title in 11 years. Tiger trailed by 2 strokes heading into the final round, but he finished with 4 birdies on the back 9 to capture his first Masters in 14 years.
The Golden State Warriors have done something that Michael Jordan's Bulls, Magic Johnson's Lakers, Larry Bird's Celtics, or any team that LeBron James has played for has ever done, and that is reach the NBA Finals in 5 consecutive seasons. In addition, the Warriors' Steve Kerr is the first coach to take a team to the finals in each of his first 5 years in the league. The Warriors swept Portland in the conference finals without an injured Kevin Durant and now await the winner of the Toronto-Milwaukee series in the NBA Finals.
Did we already talk about comeback? Maybe this one is on a par with Tiger's return to prominence. Last year, Virginia became the first #1 seed to lose to a 16 seed in the NCAA tournament. The loss to UMBC was a shocker and an embarrassment to the Cavaliers, but here was Virginia. Last night, knocking off Texas Tech in overtime to win the national championship. This game was a thriller with a lot of offense for 2 teams known for their defense. Virginia was placed by star forward Deron Hunter, who scored 27 points, and tournament MVP Kyle Guy had 24.
There is no game action at the NFL draft, but TV ratings once again were mind-blowing as fans of the NFL watched eagerly to see who their favorite teams would select in Nashville, Tennessee. According to ESPN, more people watched the draft than some games in the NBA playoffs. Arizona made Oklahoma quarterback Kyler Murray the top overall selection. 3 defensive linemen went in the top 5. The Giants grabbed their quarterback of the future, selecting Daniel Jones of Duke with the 6th overall pick.
Finally, War of Will won in Preakness Stakes in Baltimore by a clear margin. The win gave redemption to pundits of the decision to disqualify Maximum Security, who bumped War of Will at the Kentucky Derby, allowing Country Horse to win this first time since 1951 that race officials called interference in a race deciding the outcome of a horse's racing major events.
That's it for a busy day in sports. For my co-anchor, Juliet Charlton, and I'm Anthony Remedios. Thanks for watching Sports Broadcasting Center. Hello and good morning, and welcome to 720 Sports on KNBR 680. You can call us in at 424-595-7865. And today we will be talking about the Sharks offseason, the Lakers' recent AD trade, and Tom Brady's contract extension as of yesterday. So first off, the Sharks offseason, what do you think about all their moves? Longtime member Joe Pavelski got signed with Dallas for 3 years. The Sharks re-signed Timo Meier for 4 years, $24 million. Erik Karlsson for 8 years and more than $11 million per year. And another longtime member, Joe Thornton, still to be determined. What do you think about that?
Well, I just thought it was really odd that the Sharks would have gone off and traded Pavelski because he's the captain of the team and he adds a lot of aspect to their group. And same with Joe Thornton. I mean, I know he's getting on the edge where he might retire and like his age, I just don't know. But the other trades, I mean, Karlsson, he's a great aspect of the team because of the defense. Before he was with Ottawa and now he's with Sharks. I mean, he can literally play anywhere, I feel like, and it's just depends on player and also the team.
Yeah. For me, I was sad that Pavelski had left. He was just because he's been there for so long, and he was just such a strong core of the team. We even saw that in the postseason, especially in that first round against Vegas. Actually, second round I think it was that we saw more with against Colorado when they didn't have Pavelski after the hit in Game 7 of the Vegas series prior. But overall, he led the team in points, I think it was. There were certain categories, I can't remember which ones they were, but he led the team in quite a few stat categories last year. So too bad they couldn't re-sign him. Timo Meier, though, great re-signing. Same thing with Erik Karlsson. Hopefully we can find the money and convince Joe Thornton to stay. I think guys like Thornton, Pavelski, Marleau, it would just be sad if they retire without a Stanley Cup. Let's move on. We'll talk about the Lakers' recent Anthony Davis trade in the offseason. As to what do you think the Lakers won or lost the deal?
Well, with that trade, I feel like they won because even though he's a great player and he's a great guy, I just feel like the Lakers needed to move on from that player and just needed more, not just height, but more like defense and a little more athleticism because sometimes I feel like the Lakers, they do well in a game, but then they don't end the game on their best foot because they'll start off a game and they'll probably be like 20 points ahead and then the other team will just like come in second half of the game and just like ram them.
All right, and we have a caller in. Hey there, welcome to 720 Sports. What's your question?
My question is, I think the Pelicans won that trade because of all the picks they got and how the fourth pick turned into a lot of great players for them, and now they have a great young core that includes Ball, Hart, and Ingram, and also they got Jackson Hayes, which they got by trading the fourth overall pick, and obviously Zion too. But I feel like through one trade of one superstar, David Griffin did a great job of building for the future. I don't know. That's just what I think. What do you think about that?
I agree with you there. I think it's a great deal for the Pelicans, really to just be able to keep rebuilding, getting some young players in the mix, especially with those early draft picks they acquired in that trade. As for the Lakers, they gave away a lot of those younger players that they did have to kind of keep the franchise going. So I agree that the Pelicans won that trade. All right, thank you. Let's now talk about Tom Brady's contract extension. He recently just signed an extension with the New England Patriots as recent as yesterday. How much longer do you think Tom Brady's going to be playing? He's now 41, 42 already.
I don't know how much longer he's going to play because he's won, I don't know how many Super Bowls, but he's just played a lot, and I just feel like this guy's just going to break down eventually and just not be able to play this sport anymore.
Yeah, this is a 2-year deal, so it'll be interesting. Definitely, I think this is going to be a key year in that deal to see will he sign another extension or are we finally seeing the end of Tom Brady. That will wrap it up for today, folks. Thank you for tuning in to 720 Sports on KNBR 680. Sponsored by Geico. 15 minutes can save you 15% or more on car insurance. And this segment was brought to you by Sports Illustrated Kids. Have a great day. Do you want to know what sucks about the MLB? The offseason is just too long and too boring. Look at this last offseason. We had Manny Machado and Bryce Harper both on the market, who easily could have made the offseason a whole lot more interesting. Instead, they didn't sign until February, and everybody else was just waiting for their signings and trades. I think the MLB offseason for free agents needs to be shorter, and they need to have a designated time in which they need to have a contract. Otherwise, penalties could be assessed. This was Anthony Remedios, and this is my rant. Hello, and we are live from Oracle Park in San Francisco, where the San Francisco Giants have just made themselves a relevant baseball team again. They are currently 3.5 games out of the NL wildcard race after being 12 games below 500 on June 30th. Reporting live from Oracle Park, this was Anthony Remedios on NBC Sports Bay Area. We will be back after this commercial break. Coming up next, I will be talking about how robot umpires are a bad idea in the MLB, how Tom Brady is not the best quarterback of all time, and how the Warriors are not the only super team.